Welcome back to the Galactic Project. We're on part 3 today. 15 days after we seeded this lawn and covered it over, it's time to take the covers off, and early indications from just having a peek underneath show that we've had some really good germination. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get these covers off and let's see what it looks like. Let's keep the suspension up a little longer. So if you remember, a couple of weeks ago we dug the old lawn up, put some new root zone down, and we mixed in some field compost, fought that over. We mixed in some zeolite, and then we went over and seeded it and then ploughed it in with the fork again to make those little ruts. And then we went over with the fleece, so let's join it back now today. Okay, so as I've said in previous videos, what I find is when the grass pushes up the covers, it seems to anchor the pegs further in. So what I like to do is just like to have one in my hand, and then if I have any trouble getting any of them out, I can just get my little hook end of it and just prise it out, because we don't want to do any damage or little damage, and you've got to make sure that we get all the pegs out before we start pulling the covers off, because this could in turn like start ripping big chunks of soil out, which we don't want. So again, this one's just in a bit further than I'd like, so we'll just prise it out and I'll get all these pegs out, and I'll just do it row by row because there's a little bit of a breeze, so I don't want all the covers blowing everywhere. I choose a day when the opposite house is having some tree work done. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but it's noisy to me. So if you were moaning about sound in yesterday's video, I don't think this one's going to be much better. Oh, there you go, it's stopped now. So, time in a second to see how we've done. I've been having a look in areas, but I've not done the whole thing underneath, so I have no idea what's going on in the middle because I've not been able to look that far in. But where I have down at that bottom end, it looks really good. And don't be concerned if it's not like a full lawn, that's not what we want. If it's a full lawn, when you take your covers off, you put far too much seed down and you're going to end up with problems. So I think early indications from what I've looked at, we've got really good growth. I think it's still going to be a bit hit and miss over here because we're in the shade, but I think generally we're going to be absolutely fine.
Are we going to see any grass?
Well, you're going on YouTube now. Not talking to myself. Here we go. So let's see. Oops, missed a peg. Must take my own advice. Missed another one. Yeah. You see a full lawn, it means you've put too much down. Considering we've not had any decent temperatures yet. Yeah, but that's it's not. Doesn't mean it's not there. Just means it's just dried out quicker. We've had the most ridiculous winds. That's not helped. So it's just dried out, but yeah. Well, we won't be mowing it yet. Yeah, good. Yeah, exactly, yeah. So now we've got the covers off, be easier to water. So yeah, right, good. Very nice. Let's get the rest off. I have done so much work on this garden of late, but the one thing that has hurt my back the most is taking these pegs out. After doing this and even doing yesterday's at the posh job, my back is absolutely creasing me. So going forward, I know that just bending forward for long periods and crouching at the same time is no good for my back. And also, these covers will get reused at another job on another day. Okay, so that's the covers off. We've got better germination around the edges because that's where we put more water just naturally because we're nearer the end of the hose. More goes down, then when we sprinkle into the middle, we just don't get as much there because when you put it down right in front of you, there's more water going in that area, and when you move it further away from you, you're getting less in the areas. Because I didn't really want to stand on it much, we don't get as much water, but it's coming through, it's just a little bit behind. So we've got big grass there, but then a bit closer, we've just got seed coming through, so there's loads coming through all over. So if your lawn's like this, don't worry at all. We're not going to put any more seed down, we don't need to. Our channels are still in place. So what we'll do now is we'll give it a good water. Now the covers are off, we can really target certain areas. It actually lands on the soil, whereas when you do it on the covers, it goes through the covers and then runs down. With it being on a hill, the water then runs down underneath on the covers, like on the top of the ceiling of it, and runs down. So we're going to give really good water now, and then we'll get on with some Sopro, Grace, Stella, and Orbit, and some H2Go. And then this is going to really bump this lawn up, and in 3 or 4 days we'll come back and have a look, and we'll see how we're getting on. Put a bit of Dan's Magic in as well. Everything we do is for the roots now. We're not interested in top growth. We just want to get those roots anchored, because they're the fundamental part of the plant. We've got great roots, we're going to have good top growth. So yeah, let's get on with that watering. Okay, so we've just given the lawn a good watering. It looks a lot better, and it looks like a full lawn from here because I'm quite a distance away from it. Plenty of long grass and there's plenty of germination with just new tips coming through, so don't be concerned at all if your lawn looks like that. It's perfectly fine, and because of that cherry behind us, we would never have started this job. That was the whole reason we had to get underway in March. We've never ever started a project this early when it goes to a full reseed, but I don't want that blossom falling on seed when we've just put it down, because I remember 10, 11 years ago when we did that already, again from scratch, that ruined it for a short period. So just trying to learn from my mistakes and get this underway. So we're absolutely fine. There was a frost yesterday morning, but it came through okay, and even where the wind had blown the cover off, that was fine as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to enhance what we've already got. So we're going to put some Sopro on, 180 mils, about 90 square metres that lawn. Already got some water in my tank. Mix that in some, and what that's going to do is going to get our root down. That's what we're interested in at the moment, is getting those roots down, because what we don't want to do is when we do come to cut it, we have shallow roots, then it starts tearing up. So everything we're focusing on is roots. We've got the Orbit, same again, 2 mil. If you're using the 500 bottle, if you're using the 125 bottle, it's 4 mil per square metre. So we stick that in. This is going to give it its preferred food source, because it doesn't photosynthesize till the third leaf stage. It's not going to utilise that. So when you utilise it for the heat, but it can't start producing its own carbohydrates yet. So that's what Orbit is. We're going to carry on the good work with the wetting agent. Again, 2 mil, 180 mil. So we can keep that water going through, because it's sandy. When water sits on the sand, you get algae growing very quickly. So we get the wetting agent on to keep the water moving through. Okay, next up, Stella. 180 of that. Again, all we're interested in is roots and seaweed, and Stella in particular is really good for this. That goes in there, like Mr. Miyagi said, with his bonsais, you know, these good roots. And we've got our Grace, which is just the vitamins. And all this is going to ensure our roots are in perfect condition. And then what we're going to do is, I'm going to put some Dan's Magic in, just for a bit of nitrogen, because we do need some of that as well. So I'm just going to put, because it's so mild this, I'm just going to go on at full rate, 900 ml, be absolutely fine. I had an email from somebody who got confused between square metres and square feet, and all he needed was 20 square metres worth, which is 200 mils, but in turn he put 2.5 litres in, so he's gone on 12, 13 times more than he needed to. So he emailed me in a bit of a panic, so I said take some pictures, and I think it's that mild, in a couple of weeks you'll have a great lawn still, as long as you get it watered, because he said it's showing signs of scorch, but it wouldn't, because it's UV, so it wouldn't scorch like that. So I was actually going to spray it yesterday and take the covers off, but it was so windy, and as I mentioned there was a bit of a frost, I didn't bother. So today was the perfect spraying day, which is a Beaufort scale number 2 for the perfect spraying day. And always on this small lawn I'm using the Bertode Elite 8 Pro sprayer, followed by another soaking in. All these products are taken in by the roots, so the quicker we can get them watered in, the better. One thing that I am really pleased with is how it's come through in the channels that we created with the fork. So we're going to get a really nice consistent growth overall, rather than it being in clumps when we rake it and it ends up in quite patchy because you've brushed too much together. So I think going forward on this side we'll definitely be using the fork again and getting those channels like a ploughed field, like we said, didn't we? Just a quick jump to Howard's. The back lawn's really coming on, the original lawn is coming through. No seed germination as yet, but this sun and I'm watering a lot, it shouldn't be too far off. Alright, so that's this video done. Just a quick one, just wanted to show you what to do once the covers come off on your project as well. So what we have, we've had Grace, Stella, Sopro, Orbit and Dan's Magic. All these are going to get taken up by the roots. We've watered it in, and what doesn't get taken up now will get taken up when it comes through. We put the wetting agent on as well, and that's going to keep that water going through, and in a week I think this lawn is going to be transformational and you won't think it's actually the same one. So remember, no more seed, keep watering by hand, no sprinklers even though the covers are off. If we put the sprinklers on, it's going to wash all the soil away, because it's still very, what can we say, it's not anchored together yet with those roots because they're only very small. So we'll catch up over the week. I'll keep doing shorts, keeping you up with progress, but until then, take care, and we'll see you next time when we're doing something else here, maybe part 4 on Daniel Hibbert Lawn Expert. Bye for now. Oh, and don't forget, your field compost code is DHLE15. If you want to bag yourself some, go right ahead, direct to them, fieldcompost.co.uk. See you later.